What's up, everyone? Welcome to Power Play with CJ. Today we're going to focus in on the Minnesota Wild acquiring Matt Moulson from the Buffalo Sabres. They gave up Torrey Mitchell and a couple draft picks. One of them was a second-round pick in exchange for Matt Moulson and depth forward Cody McCormick. So they got some grit and some tenacity to replace Mitchell, and they got Moulson who will help their offensive output. He's got 39 points in 55 games this season. That's not bad. He's three-time 30-goal scorer. I think he's at 41. So look up that right now. But I like Moulson's game. He's responsible defensively, and he can help out a team in a number of ways. With his two-way play, with his offensive game, and his numbers over the years. He's hit 36 as his career high in goals. Last year he had 15 in the shortened season. He had 44 points in 48 games last year. So he's really an underrated player. I mean, he's been an underrated player for a long time. And he's a guy that was a former farmhand in L.A. and Pittsburgh, and then gets a look with the Islanders and becomes an instantaneous 30-goal scorer. Now, part of it was playing with Tavares for a long time, but the other part was I think he was just a round peg and a round hole. They moved him to Vanek. They moved him for Vanek, and that kind of blows up in their face, which we saw today. But going a step further, he's going to help this Minnesota Wild team. They have some talented young guys, but I think Moulson gets to take some power play minutes and help alleviate the minutes on the younger players and take some of the pressure off Parise and guys like that in terms of scoring. So that's something that'll definitely help Minnesota. And you look at he's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. Maybe he resigns with Minnesota. Everyone's talking about Vanek being a lock to go to Minnesota, but I think it was Pierre LeBrun tweeted about Vanek. Alexei Kovalev 10 years ago was a trade deadline acquisition by the Habs. Killed the Bruins in the playoffs once or twice, actually twice, and he was unrestricted. And he re-signed Montreal, and stayed with the Habs for I think 4 or 5 years after he was acquired at the deadline. So that's something to keep an eye on. But bottom line for Minnesota is he helps them in their pursuit of a playoff spot. And again, I like Moulson's game. I always have. I think Thomas Vanek's a better hockey player. But, I think you can do a lot worse than Matt Moulson, in terms of acquiring a player at the deadline and, acquiring a forward that can help you, on both ends of the puck. A smart guy, played his college hockey at Cornell, so Ivy League dude. But, again, like the deal, I think it's smart for both sides. And Buffalo ended up with first, a second, and 2 other draft picks. So a first, 2 seconds, and maybe another pick in there for Vanek in addition to... which is a lot more than the Islanders got for Thomas Vanek. Because you look at Moulson being a piece that gets moved in those draft picks. Their net gain, I should say. So, but Thomas Vanek's traded twice in one season, and the Buffalo Sabres, who traded him first, got a lot more back for him than the second team. And he's the same player. Just, some general managers know what they're doing, and some general managers are Gus Snow. Anyway, that's on this episode of the Power Play with CJ on the Minnesota Wild acquiring Matt Moulson from the Buffalo Sabres. Stay tuned for episode. Actually, second time in at the deadline, second consecutive year they've acquired a Buffalo Sabre at the deadline. With Palmerville going to Minnesota last year. That's on this episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for episodes throughout the season and beyond. Later, guys.